about you occupying different states. So as I talk about, states are like watching a movie. You are tuned into one channel. It doesn't mean that another movie is not playing on another channel. It's just that you are tuned into the frequency and your attention is on your preferred movie. That's the desired state. Now, if you are going back and forth between two states, let's say you're manifesting an SP and you're like, yeah, they're showing up for me perfectly. We're happily married, whatever the fuck the case is. But then you go back and you're like, oh, but they did this 2 months ago. Now you have shifted states. You have gone to the other movie. And how you can tell what state you're in is the place that you're thinking. This is the simplest way to tell what state you are in. So if you are thinking of SP comes to your mind, you're like, oh yeah, they love me. And that was your baseline automatic response in your mind. You're in the preferred state, the desired reality, the movie that you want to watch. Now, if SP crosses your mind and you're like, I can't believe this motherfucker. Why haven't they called? What are they doing right now? You see, you just went back to another state, which is the movie that you don't want to watch. So how your reality manifests, which it really already exists, you're not manifesting anything other than the version of you who is already in that experience, is by your concentration and your focus and who you are being in the moment. So if you have a built-up backstory with an SP, I want you to understand, number one, that story is defunct because the only moment that is relevant is the now moment. And in the now moment, that story ain't going on anymore. What went on 2 months ago isn't relevant now. The only reason why that memory would pop up for you is if you are recalling that now. So if one were to completely just say, you know what, there is no past, there is no future, it's only now, and now I prefer to only reside in the state, watch the movie that I want to watch of the desired reality, and you never looked back at the former versions of SP, you didn't replay arguments in your mind, you didn't say coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? You wipe the slate clean and you're good. That's it, you're already there, okay? But if you keep going back, you're flip-flopping, now it's like you just looking at this movie, now you're looking at that movie, you're looking at this movie, now you're looking at that movie. It's like watching a fucking tennis match, right? So you got your 2 movies playing, but you don't really know what's going on in either of them, okay? So you have a fucking porno on one fucking channel, right? Motherfuckers are moaning and pleasure, having a good old freak nasty time, and then you have a fucking gangster shootout movie on the other channel, and motherfuckers are getting shot up and there's blood and gore and guts all over the place, right? So do you see how those two contradict each other? And this is why a lot of times when you're manifesting, especially with a person, but it could be with anything, but you know, specific motherfuckers seem to be the most triggering for a lot of individuals because they are going back to the past, which no longer exists. So now they're looking at blood and brain matter splattered all over the screen, and they don't want that, but they keep looking there. They keep looking there instead of looking at this nice fucking sensual scene that you want to play out in the 3D. So if you're switching back and forth, you don't really know what's going on in either of those movies. You might have a little bit of an idea, but you're not fully invested in either one of them. And that's why you can have a 3D looking like it's stagnant. That's why you might have hot and cold behavior from this SP. This is why you might be having, you hear from them one day and everything is good, but then a week later they vanish and then you don't hear from them for a month. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not that they're doing anything, it's that you haven't fully embodied the state. And how you fully embody the state, where you are now the character inside that movie that you're focused on, is how are you thinking? Which is why I said, how are you thinking throughout the day if SP crosses your mind? Are you like, oh, they're so in love with me, I can't wait to see them later, oh, what an amazing SP I motherfucking have, fuck yeah, okay? Or are you going, look at this motherfucker, they ain't calling me, they ain't text me, they said this, they said that, I seen this shit on Instagram, okay? Like, where are you at? Because where you're thinking from is the state that you occupy. Because you are not creating the states already exist, but you are embodying the version of you by who you are being in the moment. So if you are focused in your minds and in your imagination on the state that you want, all of the thoughts that are going to be coming to you naturally are going to be pleasant and in alignment with that. But if you have thoughts of shit that happened in the past or shit that could potentially go wrong in the future, now you're occupying the state that you don't want. And since the only moment is now is the only moment of creation, the universe, God, source, whatever, it's all you, okay? It's just you reflecting what's going on in here on like the big screen, okay? The big screen of the fucking 3D, the screen of space, as Neville Goddard says. It's all you, okay? There is no past because it's not going on now. There is no future because it's not going on now. You can perceive of it now, and you can experience those thoughts and those emotions now, but that's only if you focused on it now. It's not that you are changing the past or changing the future. You are just accessing a state from the past, which is still in existence, and that shit ain't going nowhere. Just like a channel on the TV, it's still playing that movie whether you care to watch it or not. It's like the movie that you want to watch, that movie is still there. It already exists too in its completion, but you're not focused there, or if you're focused there, you keep turning your head to the other movie that you don't want to watch. So you are not manifesting those things. They already exist. Creation is finished. The shit is already there. It already exists. All the past already exists. All the future already exists. But you can access them in the now moment because the now moment is the only thing that exists. So whether you're looking here or whether you're looking there, you're doing that to yourself now. And how to tell that you are successfully more dominantly in the state of the wish fulfilled is by the way that you are thinking throughout the day. So like I gave you those examples, whenever the topic is, it could be SP, it could be money, it could be health, it could be anything, whatever the topic is, where are your immediate thoughts going? Are they going to something favorable that's in alignment with the thing that you consciously are manifesting within yourself? So you manifest that version of yourself that seamlessly steps into that movie of that show that you want to watch? Because you're going to be thinking like that. That's how to know what state you are occupying. If you are thinking poorly about the situation that you are manifesting, you are that version of you now, even though you might be looking in your mind at a situation that happened 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, don't fucking matter. You're embodying that version now by the way that you're thinking, okay? Or if it's a potential future that you don't want, what if this happens, what if that happens? You're now identifying yet another state by the way that you're thinking, and all of these realities exist. They are not going anywhere. It's you who is changing. It's you who is being molded. You are doing the shape-shifting to step into the role that you have set out for yourself in these realities that are already there. These realities exist because you can think of it, because you can imagine it. That's how you know they exist. And the more that you are thinking from and thinking as the motherfucker who is already in that movie, now you can see reality, 3D reality, shape-shift around you because it is your perception of the things that in 3D that guide you into where you are at. Because if you are in a happy marriage with SP, A 3D circumstance might be they're 30 minutes late from work, but you trust them. You know they would never hurt you. You know that they love you. You know all this shit, right? So you're gonna maybe call them, hey, is everything okay? You're a little late. And then like, yeah, my phone battery, I'm in traffic, blah blah blah. And then they walk in the door 5 minutes later. You see that everything was legit. Their phone was really fucking drained. There was fucking traffic because you put on the news and you saw on the news that there was traffic, right? Everything checks out, but your immediate instinct was not to second guess. Your immediate instinct was, this motherfucker loves me, so they would never do anything to jeopardize our relationship, right? And that's your immediate thought. That's how you know what state you're in if a 3D neutral circumstance pops up. So that same circumstance can pop up, right? They're 30 minutes late from work. Oh my god, what are they doing? Who are they with? Why ain't they texting me? Why ain't they calling me? Like, do you see the difference? And your immediate instinctual thought and reaction is always going to show you where the fuck you're operating from, because there is no one to change but self. So when you have successfully occupied the state and you're more in that state, if you do get a random fleeting fucking thought that is detrimental or contradicts it, you're not even going to give a fuck. You're not going to care. You just be like, oh, that's funny. Okay, whatever. And how you can tell that you've really changed is that if a circumstance in the 3D pops up, okay, because remember the 3D is neutral, a similar circumstance pops up in the 3D, something that you've experienced, something close to you in the perceived past, okay, and you're like, okay, who cares, right? That shows that you have changed. Now you're not letting the past, the former version of you, dictate what goes on in your reality. You're like, oh, that's interesting, but you know what, whatever, I know who I am, and I know what I want, and I know that it's already done, so this doesn't matter. That's how you can tell that you truly have shifted your belief system if a similar circumstance pops up and you are the one that is responding differently. That is how you can tell that you have successfully shifted states. And when you have shifted states, there might be inklings of time where a doubt or worry or something about timing, it might creep in, but you're not going to pay attention to it. You're not going to really care. You're just going to be so in the knowing that you are in this reality now that nothing on the outside is going to deter you from having the experience that you want on the inside. And that's how you know that you have changed. If it looks like shit in the 3D is the same, but you are different and you are behaving differently in 3D, you fucking did it. You shifted states. Congrats.